So recently I was given a little gift. This, sort of like a mysterious piece of wood, and the person who gave it to me doesn't know what it is, and I also don't know what it is. Upon inspection, I'm assuming it's some sort of maple, but I'm not sure. The wax has made it hard to identify. It's got this sort of orangish color, but right here, it looks a little bit white, and so I'm assuming it's some sort of maple. But obviously the best way to figure out what kind of wood it is to get it on the lathe and turn it. Now, while I turn this, I do have some things that I need to say. Not necessarily that I need to say to you guys, but that I need to say and sort of vent into the world. About 12 months from today, I had the opportunity to do this full time. And by do this, I mean my wood shop and YouTube full time. I was presented with an opportunity, and as hesitant as I was, I did take it. And I gave up my job that I had, which was being a custodian at the local high school, to pursue and to see if I could do this full time. I was lucky enough to have my wife who believed in me, and also my brother close by who believed in me, and they gave me the confidence to try and do this. Now, this isn't the first time that I have tried to be an entrepreneur and to, see if I can make this woodworking business work for me financially. My finances look good, and so that is why I took the opportunity and decided to do it. The last year has been amazing. I've had a lot of fun working on my YouTube and trying to see if I can make my business grow. I even got another chance to start another YouTube channel, which is an outdoor channel focused right here in Idaho, where I live. And this is not the first time that I have tried to make this entrepreneur thing work. I have tried twice already with this same business, and essentially I have failed both times. Third time's the charm though, right? Unfortunately, things haven't gone my way. Life is expensive, children are expensive, and I've sort of come to the realization that maybe I'm not meant to do this full time, or maybe I'm just not meant to do this full time yet. And so at the starting of the school year, I went and I asked for my job back to work nights at the school. I work 6 p.m. to midnight, and that was very hard for me to do. It wasn't hard because I knew I needed to help provide for my family, and that whole aspect of it was easy. Getting a job and getting money to provide for my children and my wife and to make sure everything is fine in my home was easy. It was the fact that I felt like a failure again in my business, and honestly, I felt like I failed myself, and it's been rough. I have been working now for the last 4 weeks, and honestly, they have been some of the hardest weeks mentally that I have experienced. I've had my fair share of depressional moments and seasons and mental health sort of things like that, but this one was different. Over the past couple months, I have felt so lost. I have felt no urge or need to be creative. It has felt like all of my creative juices have just been sucked out, and any sort of new idea that I would have would quickly just be stomped out and thrown away. It seemed like even coming out to my shop is pointless. Usually when I come out to my shop, I can find some sort of creativity or something to do, but over the last few weeks, I would come out here for hours and avoid everything. I stopped making content. I stopped editing content, and I stopped even thinking about doing content. A lot of me was honestly considering just giving up my channel. Just stop posting on my channel, fulfill my Etsy orders, and turn off my Etsy and just sort of exist. That honestly seemed like a good idea to me, to just be at home, watching YouTube, watching TV, relaxing all day with my kids, and then going to work, and then coming home and doing the same thing, and not having any other hobbies or extracurricular activities. Until the other day, I realized I hadn't really felt anything. I feel like I've been emotionally unavailable to everything. I didn't feel happiness. I didn't really feel sad. I didn't feel angry. I wasn't feeling anything. And so, I decided you need to get out. Take a couple hours to yourself, go fishing, get out and just try and sit with myself and evaluate my life. What did I really want? That was the question. Do I want to give up on everything that I've built and just sort of coast for the next who knows how long? Or do I want to get back up and try and continue this YouTube journey and my Etsy shop and continue building this business? Part of me wanted to give up all of the woodworking stuff and only focus on my outdoor channel. That sounds really fun. And with going out fishing, I decided that I really needed to film and try and make content and see if that does anything for me. And I filmed, I caught fish, I had fun. But I honestly didn't feel like I really enjoyed it. Not like I used to, at least. I used to just be so excited to film, and I knew all the angles I was getting and what the story was going to be and what I wanted to present to you guys. And, I could see everything and it would get me so excited. But as I was out fishing and just being outdoors, I didn't have that feeling. It was just fishing, which was fun. But I wasn't excited to share it with anybody, and I wasn't excited to do anything with the content that I had. I got home and I wanted to show my son the fish that I caught because he always loves seeing these videos, and I started editing it into a little short, and I finished it and I exported it and I watched it, and for some reason at that moment I knew that that's what I want to do. I want to make content. I enjoy making content. I finally felt it again. I felt the joy that comes from my creative mind to reality, to showing it to somebody else. It brings me so much joy. So that's why I'm back out here. I am filming content. I'm not gonna say I'm 100%, ready to jump into it and fully back to where I was, but I am making my way. And again, it's not the way that I want it, but making content, being a content creator, is part of who I am. I've been doing this for over 10 years now. No matter what the subject is, I have been making content on things. And that is part of me, and that is part of who I am. So I guess I'm just excited to have finally refound myself after this long lost season of wherever I've been. Now I know you guys don't see a difference probably or anything like that, but it's been a little rough for me, and it's time for a change. And I know some of you guys might not care about this story or any of it, which is fine. Some of you guys actually might relate to it. And to me, the moral of my own story is that life doesn't work out the way you want. Rarely does it ever work out the way you want. But I think that as we go through life and we go through our ups, and more specifically go through our downs, we have to remember it's not going to be like that forever. We have to remember that with the bad and also the good. The good things aren't always going to last, and the bad things also aren't always going to last. But I think that the main thing that I want to focus on is that I need to keep moving forward, and I need to keep pushing on. And more importantly, if you have found something that you love to do and that you know that it's a part of you, don't ever stop doing it. Because we're here for who knows how long. Why would you not do the things that you love? Make time for it and be happy. All right, now that all of that is out of the way, we can talk about the wood and the turning. Ended up turning that piece of wood into just this little, what are they called? A bud vase, I think is what it's called. And honestly, it's fine. I really am not hyped on this, but it was fun to turn. It was super fun to get out and turn again and experiment with a different wood. This thing was super punky Obviously, this thing is rotted. You can tell from the spalting and stuff. But I genuinely think it's like beyond turning rotted wood. It was so bad. You guys remember, we started out with a good chunk of it and now we're down to this. It was bad. I ended up sanding most of it to get the finish in there, and it still just is super punky and just has a lot of flaws to it. So, not my favorite piece I've ever turned, but just a really good practice piece, and something to do. But besides this, I am looking forward to making a couple other videos that I have in mind. I have a wedding that I'm going to in October, and I really need to get a bowl and a set turned for that wedding. It is a very important occasion and it really matters. I'll talk about it more in the next video, but that is coming up, so be excited for that. And if you guys do like, I did mention a separate channel that I am working on, which is my outdoor channel. Head over and check it out. We do fishing and hiking and camping and overlanding and that sort of stuff. It's a definite passion of mine, the outdoors and all of that stuff. So that channel is also not going anywhere anytime soon. And of course, a huge thank you to everybody who watches and who comments and who engages with me. It honestly does really help keep me going. So I will see you guys down in the comments. Let me know what kind of wood you think this is, because honestly, I am still stumped. I have no idea what it could be. Leave me your guesses down in the comments. And of course, any other comments are more than welcome. All right, guys, I gotta get to work. Be good, be safe, be happy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.